As I was saying, peace talks in Aburi, Ghana in January 1967 produced what was then known as the Aburi Accord, by which all parties committed to a more federal arrangement, with each region having military control of its own area. When that compromise was reneged upon by the Gowon government, which instead announced the division of Nigeria into 12 states, the independent state of Biafra was declared on the 29th/30th of May 1967. Now you may wonder, how is a declaration made on the 29th/30th? Is because it happened at 2 a.m. on the 29th. And from my earlier submissions, you remember the dates, the 29th of May, the first round of pogroms, the second round, 29th of July, and the third round, 29th of September. So we then had this mysterious declaration of the state of Biafra at 2 a.m. on the 29th of May 1967. The war, which began in July 19, Nigerians understand that Nigeria is operating without a constitution. It is simply held together through the barrel of General Buhari's guns.
Simon Ekpa, the fiery Biafran activist and the prominent leader of the separatist movement, has unleashed a storm of opinions regarding the recent proposal to bestow temporary protected status (TPS) upon Nigerians residing in the United States. With Nigerians' relentless wave of insecurity as the backdrop, Ekpa, who serves as the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, has firmly advocated for this crucial measure. In an electrifying statement released on Thursday, Ekpa spared no words in emphasizing the perilous predicament faced by the Igbos in Nigeria, providing a compelling argument for granting TPS to their compatriots across the Atlantic. The United States Congress called to designate temporary protected status for Nigerian national resonates deeply with Ekpa, who believes it to be a long overdue recognition of the harrowing conditions plaguing his people. The reverberation of this impassioned plea found their way to the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas through a powerful letter signed by the 23 members of the Congress, dated May 9, 2023. The missive urgently implored Mayorkas to extend the umbrella of protection to Nigerian citizens residing in America, citing the press need to shield them from the perils of their strife-ridden homeland. Temporary protected status, a legal sanctuary enshrined in U.S. immigration law, offers a lifeline to migrants hailing from countries engulfed in hazardous circumstances, allowing them to legally reside and work in the United States. Simon Ekpa's impassioned stance stems from the belief that the Igbo people in Nigeria find themselves trapped in an unrelenting cycle of insecurity and danger. Consequently, he heralds the United States' deliberation on granting Nigerians temporary protected status as an eagerly anticipated beacon of hope and a monumental stride towards acknowledging their plight. With tensions high and the fate of thousands hanging in the balance, the world watches intently as Simon Ekpa's resolute voice reverberates across continents, demanding justice, safety, and a secure future for his people. In a compelling twist, he firmly asserted that the prevailing circumstances further substantiate the urgent need for a peaceful referendum as fervently demanded by the Biafran people. Drawing upon his legal expertise from his Finland base, the impassioned lawyer ardently appeal to the United States to heed their plea for a peaceful referendum, not only for the Igbo nation, but also for other ethnic nationalities within Nigeria who desire autonomy. The gravity of the situation prompted the BRGIE to address a heartfelt letter to several influential entities, including the United States, the European Union, the United Kingdom, and the International Criminal Court. In this poignant correspondence, they fervently implored for a peaceful separation from Nigeria, seeking a dignified exit from the tumultuous circumstances that have plagued their existence. The indigenous people of Biafra, representing the former eastern region of Nigeria, have endured the looming spectre of destruction since 1966, with recent times witnessing an exacerbation of their living conditions. Therefore, the Biafran people fervently beseech the United States government to grant temporary protected status to Nigerians, giving their resolute determination to peacefully and bloodlessly secede from Nigeria through a referendum. To shed light on the dire situation faced by the indigenous people of Biafra, he stated, "The Nigerian government has waged a relentlessly manhunt, targeting and persecuting individuals affiliated with the Biafran cause. Any indigenous person of Biafra returning to Nigeria from abroad is subjected to unwarranted profiling, harassment, intimidation, and unlawful detention orchestrated by the state-sanctioned terrorists clad in government uniforms. These innocent individuals face the looming threat of extrajudicial killing without any justifiable reason under civil law. As the palpable tension continues to mount, Simon Ekpa'S impassioned words served as a poignant reminder of the ongoing struggles faced by the Biafran people, urging the international community to recognize their plight and support their quest for a peaceful and equitable resolution. We urge the United States government to expedite the designation of Nigeria for temporary protected status (TPS) in order to ensure the safety and well-being of the law-abiding people of Biafra who currently reside in various locations. Returning to Nigeria would expose them to significant risks, including harm and death. Biafran inhabits the southeastern region of Nigeria, with an estimated population of over 75 million people. While some Biafrans live within Nigeria, many others are dispersed worldwide, including a substantial number contributing to the prosperity of the United States. From 1966 to 1970, Biafra existed as an independent nation until Nigeria and its allies engaged in a conflict and annexed Biafra into Nigeria. The Biafran Republic government in exile, BRGIE, led by the indigenous people of Biafra, has been established to govern the nation of Biafra administratively and politically from outside its territorial boundaries. The BRGIE engages in diplomatic relationships, negotiations, agreements, and collaborations with other countries and international organizations on behalf of the Biafran people. They deserve the diplomatic privileges afforded to government officials of their respective levels. The Biafrans, through their government in exile, seek assistance from the United States of America and its citizens to support a peaceful separation of Biafra from Nigeria. After the Nigeria and Biafra War in 1970, which was prompted by the social injustice and tribal conflicts, the federal government of Nigeria adopted an implicit policy to hinder the development of Biafran land and kept its people impoverished. The seaports in Biafra land were closed prior to 1960, rendering them non-functional to this day. Moreover, there is a lack of operational international airports, electricity, running water, and well-maintained roads in Biafra land. These conditions make it exceedingly difficult, if not impossible, for the indigenous people of Biafra to sustain meaningful or profitable businesses within their ancestral homeland. Consequently, Biafrans have been compelled to migrate from rural to urban areas in Nigeria and various cities worldwide. It is important to highlight that the amalgamation of the southern and the northern protectorates of Nigeria by Frederick Lugard in 1914 was originally intended to last for a duration of 100 years. Now that the 100-year mark has passed, we respectfully request the United States government to consider our appeal for temporary protected status for Nigeria and ensure the safety of the well-being and the well-being of the Biafran people. We would like to bring to your attention the fact that the amalgamation agreement, which consolidated Nigeria into a single country, was primarily driven by the interest of the British Crown, with little regard for the welfare and development of the indigenous people. The Amalgamation Agreement of 1914 stipulated that after 100 years, any tribe, group, or region that desired to discontinue their participation in the union known as Nigeria would be granted the freedom to do so. As the year 2023 marks the 109 years since the Amalgamation Agreement, it can be inferred that the agreement has expired. The binding nature of the Amalgamation Agreement necessitates the need to renegotiate Nigerian structure and grant freedom to groups, particularly the Biafrans, who wish to separate from the Nigerian Union. Nigeria comprises multiple distinct nation-states, each with its own unique characteristics and perilous diversities. There is a notable absence of similarity or shared commonalities between the people of the southern and the northern protectorates. Consequently, the amalgamation was conceived and implemented in a self-serving and malicious manner. This hasty enactment of the agreement without consulting the indigenous people further illustrates the inherent flaws in its design. Since the British imposed this amalgamation, there has been a persistent rift between the various tribes. Mutual suspicion and the quest for dominance have pervaded intertribal relationships, preventing Nigeria from making significant progress. The cantankerous and the pernicious nature of this relationship has hindered the nation's development. Therefore, it is crucial to acknowledge the expiration of the Amalgamation Agreement and initiate a process of renegotiation for Nigeria. This will allow for the recognition of the diverse aspirations of different groups within the country and provide the opportunity for peaceful separation, particularly for the Biafrans who seek to pursue their own distant paths. The Biafran people in Nigeria are facing an alarming wave of violence unlike any other period in the country's history. The fear of death among the Biafrans is well-founded and credible. In a tragic accident in 2016, over 160 Biafran youths were ruthlessly gunned down at Ngwa High School in Aba. The army launched Operation Python Dance 1 and 2, targeting the home of Mazi, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, resulting in the brutal killing of over 50 Biafran youths. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu narrowly escaped an assassination attempt. The army further carried out massacres in Uzuawani, Enugu State, claiming the lives of over 100 Biafran youths, and repeated the atrocities in Ehuamafu, Izombe, and Aguleri prior to the recent general elections in Nigeria. Around 40 individuals were cold-bloodedly shot in Aba, Abia State, as unarmed youths took to the streets demanding the release of Biafra of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who had been discharged of all charges by the court. The soldier also inflicted injuries on hundreds of innocent people. On January 1st, 2023, the military laid siege to Ihumbe, Okigwe in Imo State, burning down the entire town. Following the presidential election in February 2023, the military and the political thug senselessly targeted and destroyed businesses of the Biafran people in cities such as Lagos, Maiduguri, Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, and others without any justifiable reasons. The designation of Nigeria for temporary protected status is a significant step forward, and we sincerely request the US government to leverage its influence and take proactive measures to push for the recognition, the renegotiation of Nigeria. We also appeal for a peaceful referendum that would allow the indigenous people of Biafra to peacefully exit Nigeria, thereby putting an end to the long-standing hostilities before they escalate into a full-scale civil war that would have been prevented. We express our gratitude to everyone who supports these efforts. Thank you.